Hi guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to cut and sew this off-shoulder exaggerated bubu. It's very simple, it's very easy. Oh yeah, now let's get into it. Okay, so for the main body of this outfit, I worked with 3 yards and I divided into 2 and folded, okay? So I folded one piece for the front and one piece for the back. So starting with the front, I marked 4 inches downwards. Now I wanted to go for this paper bag top side. That's why I marked 4 inches downward. But later on, I changed my mind. So if you're not doing this paper bag, that picture I showed you, you can mark 2 inches, but if you are doing the paper bag, mark 4 inches. Like I told you, I marked 4 inches, but later I changed my mind. So if you want this exact thing I have in this tutorial, use 2 inches and not 4 inches. Okay, so now from that 4-inch line, at that 4-inch line I came in by 3 inches. At the top as well, I also came in by 3 inches. Now after coming in by 3 inches, I drew a straight line. Okay, so now after drawing a straight line, the next thing I went ahead to do was I came down by 5 inches, and I'm coming down by 5 inches for my armhole depth. Okay, after coming down by 5 inches, at that 5-inch mark I also came in by 3 inches, just like we did at the top and at that line, and I connected my markings together. Okay, so now after connecting my markings together, the next thing I went ahead to do was to insert my armhole curve. You guys, if it looks like I'm whispering, no, my baby is not at home, he's not sleeping. The house is just too quiet that I feel like if I'm talking so loud, like I feel like I'm talking so loud, like the house is just so quiet, nobody's around, it's just me. If it feels like I'm whispering, guys. So after inserting my armhole curve, this is what we have here, ladies and gentlemen. I just went ahead to cut it out. Very simple, very straightforward, no plenty talk. So now after cutting it out, I notched that point. After notching it, this is what we have here. So now it's time for the back part, and of course this fabric is on a fold. Okay, so just like we did for the front, I came down by 4 inches. Remember, if you want exactly what I have in this particular video, use 2 inches. I told you that I had to readjust this, okay? So now after coming down by 4 inches, I also came down by 5 inches for the armhole, drew a straight line. I came in by 3 inches. See all the things you did for the front part, also do it for the back part, but do not insert the armhole curve, okay? So now I drew a straight line. Now after drawing a straight line, I grabbed my front piece, I aligned it with all my markings on the back piece, and I secured it with my office pin. Okay, so I secured with my office pin. After securing my office pin, the next thing I went ahead to do was to use my weight, because this fabric kept moving around. And if you are seeing that chair move, my baby is here in the office with me. He was here with me that day. I saw Shege. Anyways, for the sleeve, I worked with 1 yard of fabric for the sleeve. Now this is 1 yard of fabric. I went ahead to fold it into a square, be a rectangle, anything you want to call it. I was just unraveling it to show you guys how I folded it. Okay, so now after unraveling, I went ahead to fold it back. So just like I did for the body, I came down by 4 inches, which is our fold allowance. Remember, if you want exactly what I did on this tutorial, come down by 2 inches, because I went ahead to correct my mistake. Okay, so now I came down by 4 inches, drew a straight line. Then the next thing I went ahead to do was to mark my desired sleeve length. Okay, I wish I didn't reduce this sleeve length I work with. I wish I just worked with it like this, because it turned out smaller than I wanted. Okay, so now after doing this, from the middle I went ahead to mark 13 inches. Okay, see the way I marked 13 inches? I went ahead to mark 13 inches. Now you can mark whatever you want depending on how gathered you want the sleeve to be. Okay, so I went ahead to mark 13 inches. Okay, so now after marking 13 inches, at that 13-inch mark, I came down by 5 inches, just like we did for the main body. Okay, so now after coming down by 5 inches, I drew a straight line. Now, listen to this. I came in again by 3 inches. After coming in again by 3 inches, I did same thing at the top. Okay, so after doing same thing at the top, I drew a straight line. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because I'm trying to do an A shape for this sleeve. Okay, so I grabbed my front piece of the main bodies. You can see how I aligned it. You can see how I aligned it on this outfit, on the sleeve. That's how you are going to align your own. Okay, so now after doing this, from the place where that my armhole stopped, right? From the place where that my armhole stopped, I just went ahead to draw an A line. I told you guys I wanted to do a fake flared. I wanted to do a fake flared. So this is what I just did here. You don't even have to go through this stress. You can just do it with your hand without all this plenty calculation. But I know you guys will ask me, so that's why I'm telling you guys. Okay. So the next thing I just went ahead to do was to cut it out. Okay. I just went ahead to cut it out. If you don't want to do this A line, you can just cut the sleeve the way you cut the normal body, straight. Okay. So I just went ahead to open up the sleeve, and this is what we have here. So now it's time to sew. So I grabbed my sleeve part, folded it into two, and I'm just going to join the sides. Okay. I'm going to join the sides. So I took it over to my sewing machine, and I joined the side of this sleeve. Okay. So I joined the sides. I did for the first piece. I also went ahead to do it for the second sleeve. Okay. So now after doing this, the next thing I went ahead to do was to fold the hem of the sleeve on 1 inch joining on 1 inch seam allowance. Okay. I just went ahead to sew the hem of the sleeve to get everything locked down. Then I grabbed my main piece, which is the body. I grabbed the body of this outfit. After grabbing the body of this outfit, the next thing I went ahead to do, I held it down because this fabric just kept moving, and it was very annoying. But that's what happens when you work with satin prints. Okay, so now I held it down, not satin, doll face. I think doll face is a variant of satin, right? After holding it down, I'm just going to go ahead to join the sides of this gown. Okay, so I took it over to my sewing machine, and I went ahead to join the side of this gown. You guys, you are going to do lots of long sewing in this particular tutorial. Okay, so after joining the sides, the both side, the left hand side and the right hand side, I also went ahead to fold the hem of this gown on 1 inch folding allowance or seam allowance, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so now after folding, you want to make sure that you reel a lot of threads down because you're going to be sewing a lot. Okay, so now this is the sleeve. After joining and folding the hem, you want to make sure you are ironing as you go. So the next thing I went ahead to do was to secure the sleeve to the outfit with my office pins. Okay, so now after securing it to the outfit with my office pins, I just went ahead to attach the sleeve to the main body of this gown. Okay, you guys, this gown is not difficult. It just has plenty sewing for a very long time. Okay, so I did same thing for the left hand side and for the right hand side of this gown. So now after attaching the sleeve, this is what we have here. At this point, the gown was very humongous, very long, so I had to fold it so it will make sense to you guys. So this is what the gown looks like. Okay, you can see it is very long. It is very, very, very long. Okay, and wide, very wide. Very wide, that's the word. Okay, so now guys, the next thing I went ahead to do is I'm going to go ahead to fold. Remember that folding allowance we put at the top? We're going to fold. Now, one of the reasons why there is a folding allowance before I start cutting the main armhole is because I did not want the folding allowance to interfere with the length of the armhole that it will now be packing. Okay, so now after folding it and top stitching, I grabbed my elastic, and this is a 1 inch elastic, and I just went ahead to pass it through the top of this gown. Okay, so after passing it through the whole top of this gown, I also did same thing for the sleeve. Okay, I'm going to do it for the top and for the sleeve. So after doing for the top and for the sleeve, this is what we have here, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, this is what we have here. This is what the gown looks like, but we are not done. Okay, because we just can't leave this gown as basic. So the next thing I went ahead to do was to rearrange my gown, and I opened up the side seams. Okay, so from the armhole, I came down by 11 inches. Okay, so from the armhole, I came down by 11 inches. I marked 11 inches. So from that 11-inch mark, I came down by another 11 inches. You can do 10 inches. In fact, you can do whatever you want to do. Okay, so I came down by 11 inches again. You can also work with 10 inches. Okay, if you want, depending on how exaggerated you want the sides to be. So after coming down, but you see how I'm picking it, that is how you are going to pick the 2 points and merge them together. Okay, so after merging it together, I just went ahead to hold it down. I went ahead to hold it down with my office pin. Okay, So you're just going to take your time, hold it down with your office pin, make sure everything is well lapped. That fold, you want to make sure that you secure the fold to the main outfit, okay, to this other side. You want to make sure you've secured the fold, hold it down with your office pin. I also went ahead to do it for the second side, okay. So I went ahead to do it for the second side, secured it down. After securing it down, the next thing I went ahead to do was to sew it, okay. So I took it over to my sewing machine. I made sure that the fold was resting on the fabric, and I just went ahead to top stitch, okay. I went ahead to top stitch till I got to the part where the pin was. I also did same thing for the other side. You want to make sure everything is well aligned so that it's not packing or folding in one part, okay. You want to make sure everything is well aligned and make sure that your stitch is in between the seam. And ladies and gentlemen, after doing this is what the gown looks like. It's giving luxury, it's giving rich auntie vibes. Let me know if you're going to recreate this gown, and definitely share this video. Bye.